I loved my fiance, but after this, things changed forever. 2 years earlier, our life together had seemed so promising. I knew he was the one as soon as I met him. I had broken up with my ex-boyfriend a few months previously, and I was ready to meet someone new. So I signed up on the dating app, Bumble. And that was how I found Jel. Jelly's a Dutch software engineer working for Google in London. He was kind, quirky, and funny. I was a school physics teacher, so we were both quite nerdy science types, and I loved how active he was, always going around running or climbing in his spare time. We were both so sure the relationship was right, and we told each other during our second date, this is it.
This is it, dog. This is it, dog.
We had got together during the pandemic in summer 2020, me age 30, him 34, and when the second lockdown was announced, I asked him to move in. Although it's still early in a relationship, it didn't feel too soon. Living together in High Barrett, North London, we grew even closer, quicker than we might have done otherwise. Both of us were working from home, isolated from others, and spending quality time together. I always think that a great way of telling if you have a good relationship is if you feel like you're a better person when you're with your partner. I felt that with Jelly. He challenged me to be kinder, more aware of what is going on in this world, more curious. I was so happy and felt so lucky to have met this amazing man. Don't worry, I'm not just reading fan fiction. This is good. It gets good. We didn't know at this point the cruel twist that lay in wait for us. That throughout our relationship, something was happening to Jelly. It wasn't until the day after Jelly's 37th birthday that symptoms started to appear. He woke up feeling dizzy and nauseous. At first, we just assumed it was a hangover from our celebration, but the symptoms never went away. Instead, they grew worse. Then about a month, he was vomiting all the time, and he would plan a few trips abroad, but we had to cancel it because Jelly just wasn't feeling too welly. Initially, doctors told him it was vertigo and told him he would get better, but he just had to wait. But he continued to feel sick, so he couldn't work. We planned to get engaged, and I knew Jelly was going to propose in the summer when we were on holiday, but we had to cancel the holiday, so I thought, I'm going to go propose to him instead. This isn't going to get in the way of our future. Just a few weeks after engagement, we received the really devastating news that more detailed the scans had shown Jelly had a brain tumor, and it wasn't benign. It was a rare type of cancer of the central nervous system called medulloblastoma, more often seen in children than adults. Jelly was told that the chance of him getting it had been 1 in 4 million. His chances of surviving 5 years was 65%. Both of us broke down in tears. But while I went to pieces and remained a mess for a long time afterwards, Jelly was remarkably strong and calm. He never once said, "Why I'm here, it's not fair." His attitude was, these are the cards I've been dealt and I just have to get on with it.
Anyways, carry on.
But I knew that I could not stay with him. Watching helplessly as he got sicker and sicker over the preceding 3 months had been bad enough, but the uncertainty of the diagnosis brought was too much for me. Spent many sleepless nights researching, trying to find a miracle cure or a story with a good outcome, but all I could find was uncertainty and bleak statistics. Not only was there a significant chance of the cancer returning in the future, but there was a possibility of long-term and sometimes delayed side effects from the radiotherapy and chemotherapy treatment on his brain. I felt like the man I loved was slipping away from me, and I'd been so close to having everything I wanted. All of a sudden, it had been snatched away. I couldn't eat or sleep. I was suffering from panic attacks. I told my mother and his, I can't do this. I can't stay with him. They warned me not to tell them the decision until at least after the surgery, so I went to see my mother's, and in late September, Jelly went to the hospital for 17 hours to remove the tumor. The operation was successful, but he'd been left with quite severe brain damage and had to get used to living with disabilities. He had double vision, paralysis on his right side. He also had motor skill issues and had to learn how to write and walk again. Despite all this, he had coped amazingly well. Me, less so. We had a brief conversation about our future before surgery, and I admitted I was struggling, but there's a chance it can be cured, he protested. I ended our relationship 2 weeks later. He was still recovering in the hospital, and I sat and I faced him on a chair and told him I couldn't stay with him. I can't see a way I could be happy with you anymore. I said devastated. I knew I would be no good for him because I couldn't even function myself due to the uncertainty of it all. He needed strength and optimism. I could not provide that. We shed tears, and then for the future, we didn't have. I'm still trying to come to terms with my decision. At the time, I felt like the worst person in the world. And I know if I heard this story about someone else, I would think they were selfish. This is partly why I wanted to write this article, because it's very easy for society to make judgments. But in situations like this where there aren't clear-cut right and wrongs, sometimes we need to remember we can't judge someone when we are not in their shoes. Jelly understood, as did my friends. He and I remain close friends. That was it.
Did he die?
No, he's still alive.
Okay. If I was in the position of Jelly, I would send the girl away.
True.
That's me. That's because that's me.
That is actually
that's because that's me. I would actually, before she does it, I'm like, yo,
that's fair.
Ain't no, but I don't want to. Because that's the way I am. There's other people that you are the way you are, and that's fine. Me, I don't want to see her like that and staying there and being all miserable and shit. Yo, bruv. It was nice. Love is love. You gotta, that shit.
I would let her go.
I would let her go. So, and that's
I
me.
would never want to be an anchor
and
like
you,
that.
And you could be like, oh, this is him. This is this and that. Whatever. I'll rely on my family and stuff like that. I think that my girl wouldn't do it, but I would still be like, hey, yo, this is doomed right now. Okay. And the way I'm thinking, most of the people really think that sometimes I am negative, where I believe that I am realistic, right? In that case, I'm like, yo, go out, do your thing, live your life, please. I don't want to see that. As a matter of fact, it's on a different scale. Okay? It's like when my girl go out. My girl doesn't want to go out. She doesn't really like people like that. So if we go someplace, right, or we go to a comedy thing or a gala or something like that, she's going to be next to me, and then she's going to be miserable because she doesn't like it to be here. Now, I'm going to be miserable because I'm always worried about her.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be, it happens sometimes like, yo, you're not having fun. I'm about to, I'm about to have some fun. Go home. You're cool? I'm cool. I can handle
You
myself.
cramping my style.
Just because now you're not having fun, you're not comfortable. I don't like to see you like that. So go home and do your thing.
I would hate to be the reason that my loved one is constantly suffering.
Exactly. So if you blow it up in a different scale, I'm in the predicament that he is. I'm like, yo, you could go out and just do your thing, because I don't want to be the reason I see you and you're struggling and no, I don't want to be that person.
Again, this is all time dependent to me. 3 years in, engaged and not married, like, I ain't even that mad.
Yeah.
10 years in, married with kids, we having a different discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
20 years in, we having a different discussion.
Yeah, we having a discussion.
Right? For them, I know everybody wants to be hyper judgmental, but like, I get it. Like, that's death. That's a whole cloud looming over the whole thing the whole time. She's in her early 30s. Her chance to have kids. TikTok. Y'all be talking about that all the time. Biological clock, all these things like that. That's a hard one to stomach.
Yeah.
Also, living with somebody with a disability, if that's not what it was at the beginning, and like in the first 2-3 years, you find that person's no longer going to be able to walk or use their body much, like, that's another thing too. Like, listen, y'all can say whatever you want. If I get with a girl in the first 2 years and then I find out for whatever reason she can't have sex ever again, move past the 6. If I find out she can't have kids, I will find out she no longer gonna have her legs or arms a few years from now. Bye.
I understand that she left. I understand that she left with the circumstances and everything and stuff. It can be like take a toll on you. Okay, was it selfish? Absolutely. Yes, it was. I don't think that being selfish is inherently a bad thing. It's a thing, right? And depending on whatever, how you do it, it becomes a good or bad thing. But yes, you were thinking about yourself and your well-being and how you would, and I understand that, and your feelings were gone. You did the selfish thing. You said, let me duck out of here because I'm not going to be happy. If you figure that you were not going to be happy, and if you didn't view your man the same way, that's for you. I understand that. But if miraculously he becomes better and he finds another girl and he's happier than you, then you get. I want to go back. No, I can't. Me on the side of jelly. If I saw that, no, you can't go back. I can't rely on you. You're not. You was not there for me, so I could. We're friends and everything and stuff, but no, you can't get some of this back.
Well, what do you say to somebody who said she was about to be married to this guy through sickness and then health? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, she didn't get married to him.
She got engaged. She was about to.
She didn't get married to him, so she didn't sign the vows.
Do you think that would have changed something?
Nope.
Okay.
And to those people, I say it is what it is. I think those people that say through sickness and I think you're right. But some people, like again, we said that before, right? We already had this conversation where
talk that shit.
Marriage to some people is not really what the vows and everything and stuff. It's really about the wow, the pizzazz, the gold, the ring, the ceremony, the showing off to people, the boasting. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what they want. That's the wedding day. They want the wedding day. They don't want a marriage. They want a day. They want that day where everything is all about them and they want to live that. Maybe that's that as well. They don't think about the vows. Motherfuckers don't think about the vows. Even when most people, I could say this, that most people, when they say them vows, they don't really understand the vows. When they sign the paper, it's not really about the vows in the paper. Most people. I could say that.
I think I think a lot of people who are doing all this talking, they got their own breaking points. They got their own things that if their partner wasn't doing or wasn't able to do, they would cut.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of these men be like, see, women aren't loyal. If you found out your girl wasn't down to bang you no more, or if your girl, let's say, lost the ability to have kids and y'all never had kids, I think a lot of you guys would abstain your
everybody
marriage.
got a breaking point. So when they say all that shit, through thick and thin, through bad and good, through this and that, yeah, okay. If you like anything in the Bible, basically,
yeah,
like anything in the Bible or anything in any holy books, I'm religious. Yeah, to what extent? I believe in those things. To what extent? Okay, and then again, I'm not saying it's good or bad. No. I don't care. That's your business with who you connect with. That's on you. That's not on me. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
And it's fine.
I think people sent me this article because they would be like, yo, look at this bitch showing up.
Nah.
Listen, if I was dating some girl and I really, really wanted to be with her and I found out she probably only got 3 years to live, not gonna lie, I don't think I could handle that.
There's not a lot, and there's not a lot of people that could. to be
Yeah,
honest with
it's
you.
different when you 20
It's
years
di-
ain't married. Like, if I was with the same person for a day, okay, we talking something different. If we, like, in the first 2-3 years and I find out you dying in 4 or 5, I might be like, I don't think I can handle that.
Oh, I would if
And
I
some
was.
people are like, I don't give a fuck.
If I
That
was-
is I'll say this. At the end of this, she said, listen, you haven't been in that person's shoes. You can't judge. I think you can judge. Just be honest. Ask yourself some tough questions. What is your breaking point?
What's the point where you say no?
What's your breaking point? And be honest. Think about what the worst things that can happen within the dynamics of a relationship or marriage that are 3 years in. At what point are you saying, I ain't going to continue with this? Just ask yourself the question. If your person gets a needle and they have AIDS, you going to stay with them? They get in a car accident, lose both their legs, their arms, they scarred up. You going to stay with them? Some of you are going to say yes, and maybe that's true for you. I just want everyone to be honest about what they can or can't handle. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because a lot of you are fronting on the internet talking about, I would stay no matter what. I stay no matter what. A lot of the people who say stuff like that have never been in those kind of scenarios or those kinds of dating dynamics.
Oh, I haven't
Well, I
even.
don't know why I know. Because people who are in those kind of situations with disability will tell you it's often a problem with the people I date. There's not enough people who are honest about the fact that they would have an issue with that, and too many people virtue signaling online. Go ask disabled people how easy it is to date. Somebody lying. And I guarantee you it's probably the people in the comment section. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
All right. We want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.